Come on.
Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, we are live. Hey, everybody.
Are we live?
I think so. We had some technical
Hi.
difficulties. Whenever you update OBS, things change. I found out. So let me mute. Let me get in here and
blah, blah,
mute.
blah is all I heard.
Techie, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All right, so it's Tuesday, and that's because we did not go live yesterday because somebody did not have internet. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I didn't.
And if you look behind us, you might be able to figure out which one of us didn't have internet.
I'm trying. I'm in a new space. This space will disappear, I hope, very soon. I am literally I'm winging it. So I had a tech here today that did not go well. They will be back. And
for internet?
For internet, for cable, for home phone, and the only issue now is the internet. Kids are happy. We have TV.
Ah, that's important. Curse of Oak Island is on tonight. It might even be the last one. I'm not sure.
The last one that's, oh my gosh, I'm going to find something. And no, I found nothing. I guess that's just
they find a lot of wood. Yep.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to post in a couple Facebook groups since half the people aren't going to realize we're on, I think.
Yeah, we're just, yes, actually, I think I was on the phone. I think it was Copper Dan where I was like, the cable guy's here, and he's like, cable guy.
I like that movie. That was a good movie.
I was like, I have to go. I'm sorry. And so the guy was explaining a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me. And it was like, all I care about is it working? And he's like, basically, no. And he's like, but it's because of the cable of they have to bury something. I don't know. I just said,
they have to bury something.
Like a cable or something. Yeah. So I just, right now I'm winging it. So I'm in a different space that I'm used to. We will see what happens. But I'm not freezing up. Does anybody?
No, so far so good. Yeah.
Okay. And am I pitchy? Am I too loud?
I think we're good. I also updated OBS, so that changed a little bit. So we had some things happening, but so I'm glad we didn't. Well, you couldn't go live last night, but I'm glad I didn't try because when I updated OBS, it would have been all screwed up probably.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Good to wait. So I think I got this posted in a couple places. We got 24 people watching now.
Okay. Well, I know we're on a different night. Oh, Larry, it's I'm now Katie, and I'm fine with that. I go by Katie.
Katie,
hey you. He said hi, Katie and Cow. I've actually met Larry. You've met Larry. He said he was sweet. So Katie, Christy, I don't care.
She caught the Katie, left me a mule to ride. Anybody? Blues Brothers. Anyway, okay, so, all right, Forrest Fenns, treasure poem. Forrest Fenns treasure, but talking about the poem. So I thought we had a good show last time. I know a lot of people didn't like that I was deleting stanzas left and right, leaving them on the cutting room floor, but those weren't permanent deletes, just for the sake of the 9 clues, that's all.
I did get many texts and many emails of that was wrong. He should be punished. People said there was like nails on the chalkboard. So shout out to who texted me today when he replays it back. And so, I think some people had some issues, and I did too. I said during the show I was shaking. So I'm all about saying, but I did get quite, is that a cow approved coffee cup? Look, it sure is. And we're going to say there's coffee in it. So there you have it.
Mama's special coffee is in it.
Yeah, you know what? So for those of you that don't know, I have spent the last 2 days moving, and there were 93 boxes. And talk about girl power. But my back is a little sore, and there might be a little something that makes this not as sore of a body today. So I'm excited about that. So
Mike the Cutter. Hey, I figure I was just doing what a maverick would do. I was carving up the poem. You know what I mean? Maybe it takes a maverick to find this thing.
In the words of our wonderful Forrest Fenn, don't mess with my poem.
I know.
So
I still believe that the 9 clues are only in stanza 2, 3, and 4.
And I do have to say a lot of people liked the idea and emailed and said there was 2 things that I got as feedback. Is one, the 333 is very interesting, and especially a directional piece. And that's what we want to talk a little bit about tonight. is what are the other things that we see in the poem. But then I did get quite a few that said, you usually are really responsive to the chat room. Since Mike and I didn't discuss at all what we were going to be saying and going over, we kind of got into our own development of things. And so that's what we're not going to be on for super long tonight. We have quite a week ahead of us that we'll talk about. But that's, I think it's going to be awesome to have some discussions about that. And we will end with William, you are not the only one that has asked that question. And I asked the experts I know who are also in the room, and I wasn't able to get a good answer. So
I know the answer.
Oh, great. Well, then save it to the end, because that is the non-content related, and we jump right into content first. And then so we'll talk about
Alan K's at the Win right now on the Strip. So hey, Alan, sorry we didn't meet up, but and you're not going to be here Saturday, right? Saturday is the Las Vegas meetup, but we'll catch you next time for sure.
Alan, when you leave tomorrow, though, what time do you leave tomorrow, Alan? Anyway, you can answer that, and okay.
Scrapbook 199 is the new one, right? Let me look it up.
Yeah, 199, because there is a post on Thor that is, what do we think the 200th scrapbook will be? Because it's going to be huge. He's going to rule out of state. I know some people get really interested when I say rule out of state, and they go no. So yeah, maybe they'll rule
it just might be your state, and that's the problem.
No, they could rule out Colorado. That'll affect like 9 people.
John Bobbitt wouldn't be happy.
Sorry, right? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay.
All right. So today, everybody, yes, we'll talk about all our extraneous activities at the end of the vlog, but we wanted to go back to the poem because that's what we do. We talk about the poem, and we like the idea of what clues we talked about last time, but this time we want to talk about what else is in the poem, and that is directions and hints, we think. I think when Sassy was on AGK, she used the word confirmers, but to me that's a hint, same thing. Hints and directions. So we wanted to go over what maybe some of the hints and directions are that are in the poem.
Do we want to talk at all about the clues from before? And because I did get that we didn't give a lot of chance for feedback and conversation.
So do I need to put the poem back up, is what you're saying, the way we had it?
Yeah, like how you had it before. I think a lot of people
find it. All right, let me see.
Okay, if you can find it. If not, I mean, basically, the entire room agreed. So basically, it is the 3. There's 3 in the second stanza, 3 in the third stanza, 3 in the fourth stanza. We all agreed we're not looking. We've actually deleted the first and the last 2 stanzas because we don't need them. A new book will be coming out, and they won't have. That's actually going to be scrapbook 200 without the first or the last 2 stanzas.
Hey, don't cut my poem apart. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Make sure I can find it here. Yeah, this is it. Kind of, sorta.
Okay, well, if you have it, but if there are, so I'm going to go off of memory here. Maybe I have it written down, but I don't know. But going off of memory, I mean, of course, so if we could talk about the second stanza to start with.
Do you want me to show the poem, share the screen? And
if you have that, that would be awesome. Because, and we have that contest.
There's a little contest.
We need to get to judging on that contest, so I'll add that to the list. The voice of dissent, walking amongst the lions. Okay, we see that a lot, but I think we're actually all coming together now, and we'll talk about that at the end because we're all in consensus about some of these things going on in the chase, which I'm super excited to see. So
I'll share this. You keep going. I'll share this in a minute.
Okay, we obviously know or believe, or some people believe, that Warwater's Halt is the first clue.
Yes, it is. Sorry, but it is. Stop it. It is. Because it has to be. I mean, if it's not, Forrest got some explaining to do. So, and speaking of that, let me send them a link to the show.
So that's the first thing. But let's talk about the second stanza first. So we've thrown out, I mean, completely, we've just thrown away the first stanza. So we're now at Warmwater's Halt, and not far, but too far to walk. Canyon Down. So we thought, to summarize last show, and I'm going to have to move around. I'm not set up exactly right, but Warm Waters Halt, Canyon Down, and Home of Brown. Those are the three clues in the poem. So
okay.
I'm actually thinking Canyon might be the clue, and Down and Not Far But Too Far to Rock could be additional.
Okay, say it again. Sorry. The poem is up. I know it doesn't look right to you, but it's up for the people.
That's okay.
But what I got to do is I have to add I deleted those stanzas, so I got to add them back real quick.
Okay.
So yeah. Go ahead.
So we have agreed, or this is where we left off last time, and then we can add on to the stanza. So stanza 2, we have agreed where Warm Waters Halt is the first clue, Canyon is the second clue, and Home of Brown is the third clue, which leaves us Not Far But Too Far to Walk and the word down. Because Mike and we agree. I don't know if everyone agrees. Yes, I might have Spike's copy. That's true. So where Warm Waters Halt, Canyon, and Home of Brown, we believe the 9 clues are 9 specific locations. So if that is the case, we have where Warm Waters Halt, Canyon, and Home of Brown. So we have down, not far but too far to walk, and put in below. That 2 of those seem directional, down and below. But what do we say? What do we say with the rest of this? Just looking at this stanza.
Right. And
Mike, what do you think?
The clues that I put up, it's not exactly the way it was. Apparently, I thought I saved it from where we left off, but maybe not.
It was groundbreaking.
Because we thought the second line was a direction. So, in other words, everybody, we're going off the premise that there are 9 clues in the poem, because that's what Forrest said. But we're also going off the premise or the idea that there are hints in the poem that confirm you're in the right location, and there are directions in the poem. And those are 3 separate things.
So we have clues, hints confirmers, right, directions. But can we just say clues and then I think hints and then directional pieces? So
right. So let's do it like this.
That'll be the terminology. Why don't we start there? So the terminology is clues, hints, and directions.
Right.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. So I'm setting it up to where the direction is the second line in stanza 2,
Mike,
3, and 4.
Can you increase the font, please? From
yes, I can. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
And I did that last time too.
That's okay. That's actually half of the fun.
Right.
Doing this. Here's what I'm.
There we
I'm
go.
an old person.
What would happen there? So hear me all, listen good. Do we have that? I can get rid of that part. Oh, and in the very beginning here, I know it's hard to see, but this is what I did. All right. Sorry, guys. We just like, hey, you want to go live? Let's do it. So we don't really script this stuff. We just kind of talk to you guys like we're having coffee somewhere.
We actually intentionally do not talk about our topics because then like half of it would be me referencing back. Remember when we talked about this? And I'm not good at kind of faking that. So we don't talk about it. So we're kind of off the cuff.
Okay. So just before we even got into the clues, what I had said, and let's see if you agree, K-Pro. The first stanza is Forrest Fenn talking about himself and what he did. His I have gone alone in there. I can keep my secret. The directions or the clues start in stanza 2. He's talking to the searchers. He's talking to us in stanza 2, stanza 3, and stanza 4. He's telling us what to do. But in stanza 5, he switches back to talking about himself again. So why is it that I must go? The answer I already know. Now, stanza 6 is interesting because he says, so hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So stanza 6 is both. It's almost as if Forrest Fenn is talking to the finder of the chest. Not so much directions, but he's talking to the finder. That was at least my thought anyway. So let me put the first.
Okay, so let me unpack this a little bit because people are calling BS in the room and they're having issues. So let's take a step back. I believe, so first, I like your idea of clues and directions in 2, 3, and 4. But let's take a step back for a second. And what is 1 all about? Stanza 1, for me, I believe, is going to be something that hones you into where Warm Waters Halt is. I don't think it's an official clue, one of the 9, because I believe there's 9 physical locations. So if you get outside of that 9, Then you look at, I believe there are hints, confirmers, potentially directions, but there's at least hints that are in that first stanza.
Oh, and there could be. I was just pointing out that's Forrest Fenn talking about what he did. He's not telling us what to do. But there could be hints in the first. Yeah.
Well, KJ says first stanza, biggest hint of all. So, and Copper
that could
Dan
be a hint. Yeah. I don't
so,
disagree.
I mean, now if Copper Dan and I agree, it's like it's sealed. The deal is sealed because we never agree on anything. So, okay. So the first stanza, we get some sort of confirmation of where to start because, and that is what points us to where warm water halt. So, so are we good with we'll go into details, but I want to jump to 5 and 6 because you said some stuff on 5 and 6 that I want to unpack a little.
Well, just stanza 1 real quick. I think it's interesting that he says, I can keep my secret where, and then in stanza 2, he tells us to begin at where warm waters halt. Begin at where warm waters halt. So I wonder if those are the same. His secret where is warm waters halt. Maybe. Just seems weird that the same word is in both stanzas.
Because that's where he's tipping his toe in it, and that's where he's swimming. That's his special place. I do believe, and I had a solve that was miles and miles and miles apart. I now believe this will maybe break the internet, but I believe that all 9 locations are in a relatively short distance, like within a mile, 2, 3, 4 miles.
And I was going through quotes from Forrest, and I found the one where he says, he said, I forget how he worded it, but the one where he answered he was talking to you. He said, Christy is a desk type person, office type person. And I'll say right now, if you're searching, don't go, I forget the exact words, don't go very far, or if you don't, it's not a long way.
If you're walking long distances, you're walking too far.
That's right. If you're walking long distances, you're walking long.
A million times, but I was 75 pounds heavier, and I emailed him and said, I made it a mile today hiking, and I have to get boots on the ground, but I think I should wait because my search partner, who was a family member at the time, he was so anxious to go. I said, but I don't want to be dangerous. Like it. And that he put that out the next day, and he used my name with the correct spelling. And I, of course, went up on a different forum, and I was so giddy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard Forrest.
So I agree with you. I think it's not a huge area that we're walking around. If we can identify the 9 clues, it'll be relatively, I guess it's subjective on what a long ways is, but within a mile, maybe.
Well, I had said I made it a mile today. So that is the only reason I believe the mile. Some people say no because he didn't put it out publicly. I don't think he'd put me in harm's way, but everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But hold on, I had something just come up. Okay, Mark Connor. Okay, if it is the first clue, why do we have to do it first? They can still be mixed up and can be done in a different order so long as you do them in the right consecutive order, right? No, I think he has already put that baby to bed and said they're contiguous. He said it 2 different ways. He said consecutive.
He said contiguous. He said contiguous.
And contiguous, right? Yeah, he said so.
Yeah, he has said that.
If he has said both of those, Mark Connor, I would say, And Joe S. also thinks they are in close proximity. I used to have mine miles and miles apart. And there's I think it's up on the Forrest Fenn official site or Galore. I can't remember which one, about can one of your 9 hint or locations be outside the search states? And I used to have one like that, but now I do not. Okay, you're bringing up the dictionary. Tell us, sir.
Yeah, contiguous, sharing a common border, touching, next or together in sequence. So when Forrest says the clues are contiguous, I think we travel from one clue to the next in order, and I would think that has to be the same order that they are in the poem. Because in other words, if you go from one to the other, how do you know where clue 5 is if you're looking at clue 2? They have to be in order for us to go to one point.
No, but I thought like the first was the first battle of Nez Perce, and then to the second battle, which were miles apart. I now believe where Warms Water Halt is attached to the canyon, that's attached to the Homa brand. Now it might be like you might have to go in the canyon for a half mile, or
you gotta drive apparently.
But no, you and I.
So
that is going to be a topic for a different day.
So what do you think too far to walk means if it doesn't mean drive? Not far, but too far to walk.
I don't believe that is one of the 9 hints, and I believe that means something different. I have no idea what yet, but I'm. Okay. He will never Rob G just said he'll never rule out a state. He has. He ruled out 2 of them. So
Idaho and Utah. True.
Yeah.
Right.
And by definition, all the other states. I think he has in this game. Will he now? I don't think so.
So just to recap for anybody that missed our last show, I'm showing stanza 2, and what we came up with was clue 1, 2, and 3. But taking in the canyon down, we thought could be a direction, not a clue. And the reason is, when you get to the place where warm waters halt, if there's only one canyon, that's not a clue because it's obvious. In other words, if where warm waters halt is at a canyon, that's the location. Where warm waters halt is the location. Down is just a direction saying go down the canyon.
And though Mike brings up a great point, I disagree with it. I believe the canyon is one of the 9. It could either be down, not far, but too far to walk, or my personal favorite is the put in below. So for me, clue 1 is WWWH. Right. Clue 2 is canyon down. Clue 3 is Home of Brown. And the direction is put in below.
So you think on the same line, there's a direction and a clue, which I guess is possible.
Or it could be canyon and down is the direction. Mm-hmm. I could take either one. I could take 2. I'll give you 2 directions in that one.
Yeah, that's true. You could say canyon is a clue, down is a direction, Home of Brown is a clue, and put in below is a direction below. So that's true. Yeah, that could be very true.
So this is what we mean by, and I think the reason for the topic, because a lot of people said you only focused on the 9 clues, which we barely got in an hour, but what about hints, confirmers, directions, etc.? And that's what we wanted to talk about is, so I think I'm pretty solid with WWWH, Canyon, and Home of Brown, but I think we can't don't discount the words in his poem. He has said it to us.
And here's another one for you. So the line, the end is ever drawing nigh. What if the end is a clue? What if the end is a location? If there's a place called end, so-and-so's end, that could be a clue, and drawing nigh means to the left. Look to the left. So that could be a clue and a direction on the same line as well.
Well, and the reason that I like nigh left, do you remember when he said, that I know some people don't want to talk about this, but a lot of people do, the 200-foot searcher or lead searcher or whoever had the first 2 clues, but then walked right by the rest. And I always think right, like not nigh, not left. Get it? Right. Left.
Yeah, I guess.
I can tell you're impressed with that one.
Right. Well, okay. Donna, she said FF may have ruled out Wyoming and Montana when he accidentally said he spelled pinon nuts and corrected himself. New Mexico and Colorado are the only search states that have pinon nuts. I don't know. I've heard both. Some people have said they are up there by Yellowstone. Does anybody know that for sure? I don't know.
I think it was really, I don't think they are. And I think sometimes this is him telling his story, and he put out too much. Kind of like when he says buried and then says, oh, I can't say buried. Right. Or I didn't mean buried. He's done that. I mean, again, I think he's 85-15. He tells a good story. And now that he sneezes and we say it's a clue or a hint, I think, I personally do not believe that, but it certainly could be the case because, again, I just have an opinion like everybody else, and I have no treasure chest at all.
Okay.
But I'm working on a killer solve, because the function and the junction's coming up.
And we're going to talk about that after this. Okay, so let's go back to stanza 2. Begin at where warm waters halt is clue number 1.
Okay.
Take it in the canyon down could be a direction and a clue. The canyon is clue number 2. The direction is down. Does that sound right so far?
I like that.
So I'm going to put the directions in blue. Okay. We have a direction. No, actually, we have the clue first, which is canyon, and then we have the direction, right? Okay, because you need both. I mean, if it is, hey, find the right canyon, which way do I go? Down. So you do need the clue and the direction together. Not far, but too far to walk. Do we think is clue number 3?
Not for me.
So you just think it's a hint?
I think it's a hint. And I remember I was on the flip side or talked with the flip. Yeah, because Sean was like, what do you mean? That has to be, or could be or something. And we kind of went back and forth on this very subject.
Well, I agree. I don't think it's a hit clue either, only because it's not like a geographic location. Like, how do I find not too far to walk? Not far, but too far to walk. Yeah.
Well, If we truly are saying 9 individual locations, not
Right.
far but too
That's
far
what
to
I
walk,
think. Yeah.
how is that an individual location?
Right. It
It's
doesn't
not a
tell us where to
canyon,
stop.
it's
It
not a
doesn't tell
home.
us. Right.
Right.
Not far, but too far to
Oh,
walk.
Doug, even though I agree with you in today's world, I don't think Forrest considers the fluidity when he said the lead searcher was a male with a female with him. I genuinely believe it was a male with a female with him. That's just my opinion. It was kind of like when he put out queer. Well, that was one of the words that Forrest put out.
Queer.
Yeah, remember when he was giving Illinois Ghost words? And one of the
I thought it
words,
was freer or something like that. But yeah, I could be
no,
wrong.
he
I
put
don't
out
know.
the word queer.
Oh, okay.
And I was with him and Cynthia Meacham at a lunch, and she said, "Do you know that that word?" And she referenced other definitions of
Yeah.
that word, and he was unaware of that.
Oh, I got you.
I don't think he sees the world in as many facets as, and I think that's evolved over time. So,
So
yeah.
Gregory Calvin Garcia says cow riches. Nice. He has said it might be possible to find the treasure chest by correctly solving just a few clues correctly. And he said if you know where the home of Brown is, you could go right to it. Right,
Mm.
but think about how Forrest talks to people. He said if you knew where the home of Brown is, you could go right to it. If you know where any of these clues are, you could go right to it by following the rest of the clues in the poem. I
If
don't
you're
think
in the
that means
Rockies, you
anything.
could find the
Yeah,
treasure
if
chest.
you have the poem in front of you, you could walk directly to the treasure
That's
chest.
Fenn speak.
So I
That's
think
Fenn
it's
speak
just the
right
way
there.
he talks, right?
Yep.
In other words, if I can just find the blaze, hey, I can find the chest. But how are you going to find the blaze without figuring out the clues before it? So I think that's just the way Forrest talks to mess with people, personally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cow riches. I like that. All right. So not far, but too far to walk. We don't know what that means. It sounds like it's a hint, or it could be a drive, don't walk, right? Or some people that I guess have a water-based solve could be like that means you're in the water, like you're
No,
actually
that means
rafting.
don't go more than a mile. That's what that means.
Then why would it be
Or
too far to
Forrest
walk? I
told
don't
me.
know.
No,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, but we
No.
know Home of
Oh, it
Brown is
could
a
be because
clue.
of elevation.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, we talked
you
about
know,
that. Remember? Yeah, that could be too far to walk because it's down, and you've got to. Yeah, it could be because of elevation.
where did Covert One? Oh, hey, Covert One. Good to see you. Oh, and Samuel Smith. Hello, hello.
So okay, so think about this, and take it in the canyon down. If the canyon is so steep that you can't walk it, well, that's too far to walk. You've got to drive to where the canyon, to the bottom of the canyon. You've got to drive down, or you've got to walk around somehow. You know what I mean? So you're at the beginning where warm waters halt. You see the canyon down, but it's so far, or maybe there's water. Whatever the problem is, you can't walk it. You've got to drive it to get to the end point, to get to the Homer Brown. No, and that could be elevation.
Well, I would like to have an entire show on when do you get out of your car, because he's talked about cars, leave your search partner in the car. I think Chris Jones just said, he said, get gas money from your friends, too far to walk. Is that the moment? I am not convinced, but I think we could have a fabulous show just on that subject.
Not far, but too far to walk.
Oh, when do you get out of your car? Is that the pointer of when you get out of your car?
Because where Forrest parked and made his 2 trips might not be the way we're coming in. It's possible.
Oh no.
Yeah. What?
There's a quote on that. So there's a whole show there.
Okay. All right. So you're saying it is the same way?
I believe so.
So you think he parked below the home of Brown and made his walk?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the way that his 2 trips is the same way that we're going to be going. I think other people might find different ways, etc. I am not a believer in that hypothesis.
And Chris Jones says Forrest said to get gas money from your friends, so it is too far to walk.
I just said that. I just said, well, you and Chris agree. Okay, you and Chris agree a lot. That's okay.
Okay, so we know Homer Brown is a clue. That's got to be a geographic location where you stop and you park. I think put in below means park while you're driving. So that home of Brown is clue number 3. So when we go into the next stanza, from there, From there, meaning I'm assuming where we
Oh, wait,
park
wait,
at
wait.
home.
Let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
What other comments do we have on stanza 2? Because we did kind of blow by that, and I'm trying to be really attentive to the chat room tonight. Covert 1 wants you to walk through his clues in June.
That's what we're going to be talking about: clues and beer and
Oh,
pizza.
are you confirmed, Covert 1? And Cal Riches. I'm actually liking Cal Riches. That's kind of cool.
Right.
He followed the clues. I agree with Gregory Calvin
It's
Garcia.
possible. It could be.
Walking car, boat. I don't think boat.
Yeah, I don't think boat either.
Especially because can you really get it in all seasons then? Especially if you're up north, can you? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think boat. I don't think walking into water either.
Ooh, Chris Jones has gas for the boat then.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, okay. So if we are done with stanza 2.
Yeah, and Gregory points out a good point. He says that Forrest did say people are looking for the blaze because that's one of the clues. So we do know that the blaze is a clue because Forrest has said so. We know where warm waters halt is a clue, and it's the first clue because Forrest has said so.
And Homa Brown, right? Well, I don't have the exact quotes, but he has referenced Home of Brown. So if he references Home of Brown, like if he says the blaze is one object, that by default then means that the blaze is one of the 9 clues, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But okay, William, are you saying the poem not to be followed literally, or did Forrest say that? Until the end.
William saying that. What does that mean? William. Forrest has said you have to think different things, but we don't know what that means is the problem. He said the person who can adapt might be able to find it. You know what I mean? He said things about imagination and think different things, but we don't know what that means. So.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Stanza 3. From there, meaning the put in below the Home of Brown. From there, I'm assuming he means from there, it's no place for the meek. Now, is that a clue? Is that a location?
In my opinion, the focus is on meek. So yes.
Right. And what we talked about before is, so what if there's a trail, Braveheart Trail? That would be no place for the meek, or courage, whatever, or it's a play on words.
Or Maddie Culvert's grave, and I said Mary Brown. I'm not sure why last time. Maddie Culvert's grave, which is very near Ojo Caliente. It is scary because it is a grave. Right. That would be, it's a location. It is yeah.
And if that's the case, then this line, from there, it's no place for the meek, that makes me think it's not where you put in below the Home of Brown. It's the next step. Like from where you park below the Home of Brown, if you can see a place, a sign that is the opposite of meek, from there, it's no place for the meek. Meaning,
so let's say the Home of Brown was Brown Park. And then in Brown Park was Maddie Culvert's grave, which is not the case.
There you go.
There is a perfect solution if it existed.
Telling you where to go.
Yeah.
So he's saying from there, meaning go over there. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Brown could be abstract. So I think both Mike's opinion, Point Vblog said, Brown can also be abstract referral to something non-abstract. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but Mike and I are of the belief there are 9 locations in the 9 clues. Right. And there are other things like hints, confirmers, directions, etc. But we are sticking with 9.
We're going to get Cynthia drunk and have a long talk with her up in
that's not hard. She's a little thing and she can make some killer margaritas. So yes.
Okay.
And yes. Okay.
So no place for the meek is clue number 4. We think that is a physical place you go to, a location.
Yes.
Then the end is ever drawing nigh. So the end could be a clue, possibly, if it was to make sense. And then to the left, you're looking for something called the end or something that makes sense of the end, and it's on the left. So that could be clue 5, or it could just be a direction, right?
I believe it could be because nigh is such an interesting word. But no, I'm going to say it's a direction. I'm going to lean towards direction at this point.
To me, it's weird that he's got not far, but too far to walk, which means we're going somewhere and we don't know where we're stopping. And then it's the end is ever drawing nigh, but we don't know another distance that we don't know where the end is. It just seems to me that those two kind of go together, which is strange.
Okay, hold on a second. Yeah. Can't get the obvious past you guys. Ellen.
Which is what?
I don't know.
What's the obvious?
What is the obvious? Or that margaritas are easy to get Cynthia drunk? I don't know. Margaritas and snowshoes? Okay, what is the... Okay, keep going. Okay, so I am of the idea that exactly what you have. Meek is for, nigh is direction. There is no paddle up your creek. I do like that one.
So as a clue, meaning, yeah, it could be a lot of these could be plays on naming conventions if there's signs. If we're actually following trails or we're following a path or even a road or whatever it is. I know the treasure chest is not on a man-made trail, but we could be following it along a trail until we have to veer off and see the blaze or whatever. So, or it could be literal, no paddle up your creek because the creek has no water in it. Maybe we're going along a creek bed
I've
that
heard
has no
many
water.
I've probably heard 100 different solves, and I will say paddle has no paddle. There's lots of different, but a lot of it's a dry creek bed kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we've got heavy loads and water high. So if it's a dry creek bed, what does heavy loads and water high mean?
Because you're walking up a dry creek and you get to a waterfall that goes a different direction that has both heavy loads and water high. If you're in Ojo Caliente, right where that bend happens, where there's the trickling of the really, really fast water, and the water goes from elevation, it drops maybe 25, 50 feet. I am going to disagree with you here, Mike, and say I don't think it's 6 and 7. I think it's 6. I think we have a double on
because it's and water high. Yeah, I got you. Because he says and, it's both. It's together. Yep. Both of those could refer to one thing.
Almost like put in below the Homa Brown. Put in and Homa Brown might be a double there too. Just for me.
And Gregory's got another one. So in the radio interview, Forrest said that stanza number 3 looks like 2 clues. Do you think he's misleading us? I think when I think he said it sounds like. I think when Forrest says it sounds like 2 or 3 clues, he doesn't mean that's what's in it. He's just saying to us, the searcher, that's what it sounds like. And I think he even said to me, it sounds like 2 or 3 clues to me. But when he says sounds like, that doesn't mean that is the number of clues that are in the stanza.
Well, okay, so hold on a second with heavy loads, and I got distracted, so I didn't fully digest what you said. But Copper Dan, because he put this also on his Facebook page, which is fabulous, you should go see it, and put the name of it in here, Copper Dan. But heavy loads and water high is a waterfall. Forrest said something about, and I saw that quote, and I didn't have time to go to Terry Scant and talk about waterfalls. Didn't Forrest say something about stop getting fixated on waterfalls, cut it out with waterfalls? There's no waterfalls. I hate waterfalls. I don't remember what he said.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know.
He said something about waterfalls, so I don't remember. I'm being a little facetious, but yeah. And the Suzanne Summers, Jonah 1777. I will say I have been out of internet connection, or very, very, very limited for the last 2 days. We will have a comment when we're back on the next one. We're I think we have new scrapbooks to talk about, and there's some definitely interesting things that are happening. So, okay. So I like that, Mike. So let's have everybody weigh in. Where are we at with stanza 3?
Perfect. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he told the children, "How come you guys are fixated on waterfalls?" But again, that's K-Pro speak. Again, that's Forrest Fenn speak.
Completely BS. He is like factual, but BS is just a little bit.
I mean, does he mean the waterfall is not part of the solution when he says that? Part of the 9 clues? I don't know. I can't take it that way because I don't know. So what if the entire, what are we on, the 3rd stanza? 1, 2, 3.
On the 3rd stanza.
So what if, put in below the Homa Brown. From there, it's no place for the meek. So we're on Brave Trail. You know, it's an opposite of meek. And the trail goes along a creek. So the end is ever drawing nigh, means look to your left. There'll be no paddle up your creek, means walk along the trail. You're not in the water. Walk along the trail. And then heavy loads and water high is a waterfall at the end of that creek. I mean, would that make sense?
See, I wanted to be yes, except for he told the kids stop focusing on waterfalls. That's what somebody put in
when
the chat.
But said that, I think he could go back. You need to find out where warm waters halt. Doesn't mean there isn't a waterfall in one of the 9 clues, but you have to begin it where warm waters halt. So where warm waters halt, forget about waterfalls.
So I have seen some pretty cool waterfalls. I will say, just wait till I get you up to Yellowstone, Mike. And there are some really cool things that are not considered waterfalls that have some directional pieces of water, some cascading and that sort of thing that I would not consider a formal waterfall. And I think Ojo Caliente is the greatest example. I think that there is some trellises of water. I don't know if that's the technical right term. But yeah, so.
And what's going on with the tense in this thing? Because the next stanza, if you've been wise, not if you are wise and found the blaze, not if you're smart. It's if you've been wise, isn't that?
Maybe this is where there's something obvious that we have been missing. I think some people have picked up on it before because I've seen some discussion on those crazy forums.
It's the tenses. He changes it around, which is weird.
Yeah.
From there, it's no place for the meek.
So is that a hint?
Well, the end is ever drawing nigh, not the end has drawn nigh. You know what I mean? He's saying the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek. But then it's if you've been wise and found the blaze. So it almost seems like if we're going along our imaginary trail here, and you hit the heavy loads in water high, the blaze is behind you. I wonder if the heavy loads in water high, if you've been wise, he's saying turn around because you missed it. You've got to look for the blaze behind you. You apparently walked right past it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Yeah, but it just seems weird that it's if you've been wise and found
there's something. I don't like the idea of having to turn around or backtrack or any of that because I believe the path that we're taking is the path that Forrest was taking.
Oh, you should. If you know what the 9 clues are, it would take you right to it. But us not knowing what the 9 clues are, I think we're going to be backtracking a lot looking for it. And maybe right here he's saying, hey, if you've been wise, you got to go back and look for that blaze. You passed it up somehow. I don't know. It just seems weird that it's not if you are wise and find the blaze. It's if you've been wise and found the blaze.
Oh, everybody's saying good job, Mike. So obviously, yes,
I win.
Right.
What I win?
You win a treasure chest worth $1 million and 27 lawsuits are coming your way.
If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. So that's a direction, right?
Ooh, I like what William just said. 5,010-2, the halfway point is 7,600 feet elevation. So the blaze, are you saying the blaze is at 7,600? Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be
Talk about a confirmer.
Right. Now, how do people know what elevation? Is that in a GPS or something? Can I stand somewhere and say, what elevation am I at? Is there a handheld device that tells you that? In other words, how do people know? I guess on a map, maybe.
It's Flatlanders here. Yeah, I'm sure there is an app for everything. I would say yes, but do I know how that works? I don't know.
Okay, Google Earth shows it. Philip Pelko says Google Earth shows it. So, okay.
Oh. No, but like if you're standing at a certain location, would Google, or when your cell phone doesn't even work?
My Google assistant just came on when I said Google Earth. Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
It went boop. I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay. So I wonder if I'm in. Oh, there's no cell service though in most of these locations, right?
If you go to Ojo Caliente, you're not getting cell service.
How about Yellowstone? Is there cell service inside Yellowstone
Ojo
National
Caliente
Park?
I'm talking Ojo Caliente in Yellowstone Park. No, you lose
nothing.
You lose it. What, a mile or two in? Where's SLED? I mean, anybody who's been in Yellowstone, when do you lose it? I mean, anything that's location wise, you lose all service.
Might as well just leave the phone at home, huh? Okay. Interesting.
No, because somebody said something, they can try to find something or other. I don't know. No, okay. I don't go anywhere without my phone. I shake by the end of the day if I'm not having cell phone.
So we're at clue 7. We're at the blaze is clue 7 on our little imaginary treasure
blaze.
Path
Yes,
here.
Blaze is 7.
These should be red. This should be blue.
Okay. Lucky number 7, the blaze. It's all about the blaze, right?
Hey, I like that. Lucky number 7. I do like that. So this is a clue. This is a clue.
Any good data-free hunting app will give you elevation. What happens if you're not, though? Like, can you drop the pin and then once it catches up? I don't know. I don't know. This is the Flatlander in me. This is where other tubers would do so much better than.
Won't it be fun once the treasure chest is found to go back through these videos and see how wrong we were, or how close we were? What if we were actually kind of close?
It was exactly my solve.
When we know the actual solution to go back and watch.
You know how many people will say this was exactly my solve? That's why I've been so cryptic for so long. Yeah, there's going to be 10,000 people that say this was exactly my solve. I just
I have to file a lawsuit against the finder apparently.
Poor Sassy. Poor Sassy.
Right. Okay. If you've been wise and found the blaze, clue 7. Look quickly down your quest to cease. I mean, can quest to cease be a clue? I don't see how.
I like the direction piece.
Yeah, it is a direction. I mean, look quickly down is definitely a direction. But Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. I mean. Yeah, that's one of those.
That's such a weird sentence or line.
It's got to mean something, right?
Got it, yeah.
But is that one clue or 2? I mean, you just don't know unless you're there.
I'm going to link them together like heavy loads and water high.
Okay, because
I like that. Okay. Yeah, so there's just one, but yeah.
And then would take the chest, go in peace. Would that be clue number 9 then? Somehow that makes sense.
Peace is the key word for me.
Okay, so that would be clue 9 then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we have 2 more stanzas. I guess there's hints in those stanzas, or do you think it's a legal issue?
I definitely think the word trove. So go down just a little bit so we can talk about all the words that we see. Okay, oh no, Chris Yates said, "Oh no, K-Pro just messed it all up." What did I do?
What?
Okay, let's go back before we jump into the. Go
Down
back up.
South. Okay.
And because I'm seeing wrong. Okay, wait. What happened?
All right. If you've been wise and found the blaze, we said was clue 7. Look quickly down's the direction. Your quest to cease. But Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze is maybe it's because they think it's 2 clues and not 1. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I did something wrong. I did something wrong. If you want, okay. K-Pro.
Nice, Billy Price.
What is your keyword?
Oh, that's something else I want to talk about too. But do you want to finish going through it this way first?
Yeah, because that'll take us on a.
Yeah, we know there is a word that is key. We're supposed to be in tight focus with, right?
Yeah.
But.
Okay.
Take the chest and go in peace.
Okay, so we'll go back to 7, 8, and 9. There's something there, and I'm not fully at that part yet. I will say I'm heading that way though. So
and then the directions are done because the next stanza he goes back to talking about himself. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answer I already know. I've done it tired, now I'm weak. So he's not giving us directions anymore. That's why me and K-Pro think the clues are in stanza 2, 3, and 4. Because in stanza 5, he talks about himself again. I think it matters. I just don't think it's a clue. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the word trove is used specifically.
Legal term, right?
Yeah, it's a legal term, and I think that he's thought of everything when it comes to all the lawsuits that will be filed, etc.
And he even said, he just said it. I left my trove for all to seek. He just put it there in the poem, right?
Everybody looking, because it is not lost property. I don't think we want it under the category of lost property. I did some people had asked if we could do a show on the legal, what type of land would we be able to recover it and not have legal issues, etc. There is so much out there, but the word trove came up a lot. Right. So
there's treasure trove laws, and don't they vary state to state? So it seems to me that when Forrest talked to a bunch of lawyers, he was talking to them specifically about the state that he knew he was going to hide it in.
Not only the state, but also the type of, BLM versus private land versus Indian reservation versus.
So that tells me there is a lawyer firm somewhere that kind of knows where this thing is, right? I'm sure
there could be.
It's a lawyer-client relationship where they can't talk, but think about it. If Forrest says, I spent a lot of money with lawyers, he would have told them, this is the type of land, this is the state, research the laws, let me know. So I would say there's a lawyer somewhere that knows the state and maybe the type of land it's on.
Yeah, but knowing Forrest, he probably asked 100 questions on, let's say, national forest.
Oh, I see. He put it
maybe
in
he asked 100 questions there, but he asked 600 questions on Indian land, which I don't think it's on Indian land. So I think think about Finn speak to us.
Yeah, that's true. And he may not have ever told him he was going to bury anything. That he was going to hide anything. He may have just said in general, and you're right. He could have gave him a whole laundry list of things. So you're right.
Yeah.
So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? So legally, he just spelled out, I left it for somebody to find. It is a trove, and he left it for somebody to find it.
So it's not abandoned.
I've done it tired now.
So you will be able to get title very quickly because it is not abandoned where you have to wait 30 days, even though he said wait 30 days, which that bothers me. But okay, I've done it tired and now I'm weak. I think that's something, but I don't know.
Well, the answer I already know. Maybe that means it's in the treasure chest, or that legal document is already there. So he's saying, I already know what it is. I already put it in a document and it's in the chest pertaining to the title, to the gold.
Maybe. I just think there's more to this one.
All right. I've done it tired.
Maybe points back up. Okay. Does anybody have confirmers in the last 2 stanza that points and helps you with the previous 9 clues? Say yes in the chat room if you do, and no if you don't, because I don't know. Like when we get to Brave and Wood, that's when I start to think, does that point back up to one of the clues? But I don't know.
Well, Doug Hayduck says, what did he do tired? I've done it tired and now I'm weak. What did he do?
He just walked twice. He got this treasure chest in its location. He buried it. No, he put it in its location. So, and he did it twice. Yeah. So, okay.
So this we're saying is a legal definition. maybe. But it makes sense. I think it makes sense that it is.
Yeah.
So we change that to green. Legal definition. Okay. The answer I already know. I've done it tired now.
Green for money, money, money. Keep the lawyers away.
Green, yeah, for the money. That's right. So, and then, okay, so we talk about a word that is key, right? Somebody said, what do you think the key word is? And I know that's another show, but just reading the poem. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. So hear me all and listen good, period. Meaning listen to what I'm going to say after this line. Not hear me all and listen good, meaning the entire poem. Because to me, that would be hear me all and listen good, period. Saying, listen to this poem. Hear me all and listen good, comma, what's next that I really need to listen to? Your effort will be worth the cold. And where do we start the whole thing? Where warm waters halt, which could be cold. So I wonder if the word that is key is cold in somehow, some way. We're supposed to focus in on cold because in order to even have a chance to find this thing, we got to figure out where warm waters halt, which could be cold. So maybe the definition of cold or cold is that word. And he's telling it to us. Hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. You got to figure out what the cold is to even have a shot at this thing. What do you think, April? Again, I'm springing this on you for the first time live in front of thousands of people.
I like you. I don't like what you just said.
You don't like it? So
no.
You think he means it's cold where the location is physically? It's
cold. I really liked what you said. So hear me all and listen good. He's saying, hey, listen up, everybody. Yeah. Shut the front door. Stop for a second right now. I like that, but your effort will be worth the cold. I don't know.
What is he telling us that for? I mean, he's not saying dress warm, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, what is he? Yeah. It means something. What is he trying to tell us?
Your mind thinks so differently than mine. I can't discount it because I'm sitting here going, maybe, man, I hadn't thought about that. I like that. Maybe. There's a maybe there.
If you were brave and in the wood. And then, of course, we think title to the gold is also a legal document, right? So that's going to be green of some kind that gives us legal ownership of the chest.
You know what? Flipside just said river crossing. And remember when Sean asked Forrest, can you rule out a river crossing? And I think he said something like, I won't do that, or it wouldn't be good for me to do that, or something worth the cold.
Meaning you're going through water.
Right. He says it's not in water, but I think
right.
Probably the best question that has ever been posed to Forrest by any searcher, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I don't mind saying it, was Sean's question that said, do you have to have, and I might not get the exact words, and Sean, please chime in, but do you have to cross any water to get to the treasure? And he said, I best not answer that, or something like that. And the reason that was so profound to me is it's related to safety. So if the answer was no, he would have said no. So by default, I believe the answer is yes. So I think we got our answer without getting our answer, but I don't want to say that too loud because then people are going to be in water and we're going to have dangerous situations.
Well, we could redo the entire poem with the clues based on a water solve, based on a walking through water solve. I think that might change things.
Well, but if he says your effort will be worth the cold, maybe that is a pointer, confirmer, hint. Going back, you better have walked through some water because that's where you're going to get damn cold. Ooh, I like that.
I don't know. But I mean, you could just be cold. I mean,
oh, he never responded to that. Okay. And so I still hold to what I said. He said, Forrest never responded to that question.
So he didn't say.
He didn't say either way. Maybe it was something else that he responded that way. But still, I think he would have responded if it helped. I think if it would have helped, I go with the same logic.
I don't think Forrest would write a poem that you would have to go through water just because of the safety issue. I mean, I know he's a fly fisherman and he's been standing in water, streams his whole life and all that, but he doesn't want me going in water, I don't think. And you know what I mean? So why wouldn't he just, he did come out and say the treasure chest is not in water, but you're right. He's never said, don't walk in water.
When this was a time that he was responding to different tubers at different times. He could have easily responded, and that would have been the flip side's words that week. He gave words at different times to different tubers. It would have been the perfect time, and it would have kept everybody out of water completely. Right. Why not? Now, some have said, this is what some have said at the time, because this was a big discussion on the forums, because maybe it's a creek and maybe the creek during the summer months is dried up and during the winter months is actually like kind of really going. So he couldn't say it exactly because it varies based on time of year. Cold
Yeah,
is linked
maybe.
to, okay, William just said cold is linked to the first clue. So he does believe. So maybe that's the word that's important. Okay.
Your effort will
Okay.
be worth the cold. Well, maybe it just ties into where warm waters halt, and that's why it's important. It's
Okay.
so
So I
important
think
he
you
put
could
it in the
put
last stanza to
confirmer.
remind
So
us.
cold
Right.
should be, I think a lot of people are saying cold is a confirmer.
Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So what about brave and in the wood? I mean, if you are
Oh,
brave and in the
that
wood,
has to be something. Well, and especially my Nez Perce solve. I love the heck out of that. I mean, that was like
brave meaning
brave.
Indian brave.
Yes, and then Wood. There was an officer that his last name was Wood.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Well,
So
I wonder if he just means the trees, like if you're in the forest and brave just to
toilet
go
water
do
is
this whole thing.
cold. What, Marty Bird? What? I
Nice.
okay.
Cold is used to rhyme with gold. Well, that's the other thing. Did he just use words to make this whole thing rhyme? But when he says 15 years, every word's deliberate.
Well, no,
Deliberate.
but one doesn't rhyme. Which one is it?
Halt. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. Begin at where warm waters halt. Halt and walk don't really rhyme.
Right.
Begin at
Right.
where
Right.
warm waters halt to take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. Walk and halt are kind of. They're similar because they're both 4 letters
Right.
and they sound similar, but they don't really rhyme like the other
Right.
parts do.
Okay, now Sean says, then if brave and in the wood and effort worth the cold have to mean something, then should it not be considered a clue? So for me, again, this is just me, there's 9 locations. It's not a location. It may point
It's a
to one of the
hint.
location
Yeah.
that is in, yeah, it's a hint
Or a
or a
confirmer. Right.
confirmer or a direction. I don't think it's a, well, it could be direction. It could be could it be pointing towards shade? Like a shaded
And that's the
area?
other thing. Out here in
Like
Vegas, we have
purple?
Icebox Canyon out in Red Rock. It can be 100 degrees out, but when you go down in that canyon and where it's shaded, the temperature drops about 40 degrees in about 10 steps.
Ah.
So yeah, I think the effort could be worth the cold. Could be have to
Oh,
do with the canyon, which is where warm waters halt.
you
It's
just
freezing in
confirmed
there.
that the treasure chest is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's possible. And then if you were brave and in the wood, yeah, and does that mean something? I mean, in the wood, is it just where you're at, where the trees are? Does that mean something else? But isn't it weird that he has if you are
Um,
brave, but then up here it's no place for the meek, which is like opposite of brave. The end is
well,
ever drawing nigh.
I like what
Yeah.
Holly just said. She
What?
said, "Take gloves." Is that why your effort will be worth the cold? Is that why you need the gloves?
Well, could the chest just be freezing? I mean, is bronze cold when it's been in the forest for 10 years? I don't know. Is it cold to the touch? Is it freezing?
I would assume
Yeah,
yes,
I would think
but
it is,
but
but
not if it's sitting in the sun, exposed to the elements, not
right.
buried.
Well, yeah, that's true. Could in the wood be a reference to being in a jam, a tight spot, a fix, much like Forrest was in Vietnam in his battle with cancer?
Oh, I like that.
Could in the wood be? Yeah, I guess it could be if you're brave and in the wood. I don't know.
Wood. I don't know what, but so this is where, okay, so let's jump to Library of Congress. He tells everybody to put their memoir in the Library of Congress, write it and put it in. His isn't in there. So there is one audio recording of him talking about his time in the war and then talks about they asked him a question. Gosh, it's been a while and I don't recall things as accurately as I should. Something about what did you miss the most? And he talked all about American Indians and his time, doing searches and that sort of thing. So
Hmm.
I think that could definitely be a link. I think there's something there in the Library of Congress audio that might be the one key thing that we're all missing. Why did he say Library of Congress? Why did he tell us to do something that will not be fruitful for us? It wasn't for him. They didn't take his autobiography. They didn't put it in there. Why is he telling us to put our stuff in the Library of Congress? It just doesn't make sense to me.
You mean in the wood, meaning in library? Or no, that's not.
No,
Oh, that's not. You were going with that. Okay.
I went on a total
Oh,
tangent,
gotcha.
totally
I don't
different
know
than
why you said that. Yeah, I have no idea.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
could there be, well, that was the brave part where he did go, and then maybe there is a reference to wood. I don't know. I need to go back and maybe I need to go back and listen to that again.
so hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold if you're brave and in the wood. Hmm.
Well, and Doug asked the question of why is he going to park the car in Flagstaff's North Arizona University?
Or the
Well,
Denver Museum.
yeah, I was going to say, and why did he change that? I don't know. Oh, T Brown, if you're talking about Donald Trump, that is Wednesday night on the Egyptian Kiss or
Yeah, we
Egyptian
don't get into
Yeah,
politics
yeah,
here.
we're not going to touch politics. Okay, in TTOTC, he used seasoned and in soil, which means experienced, brave, and in the wood is similar. Very interesting thought with brainstorming. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really all we're doing right now is brainstorming. When you get through your 9 clues, the next step is what are all these other words? He said, especially the nouns, but look for all of it. So if we do look at all of that, what do we do? So
yeah, Throw the Treasure says, I wondered if the blaze can only be seen at a certain time due to sun position, like sunset, showing someplace, like it's a blaze of sun through a crevice or something, a la Indiana Jones, and through the rocks, and it's cold because you're wet and it's getting dark. In other words, you're only you're only going to find. But then wouldn't he have to tell us somehow what time of day that is? Like somehow in this poem, if that's what it is, if I can only see the blaze at a certain time of day, you better have given me a hint to what that time of day is.
Oh, well,
right?
Do we have any ciphers in here? And let's get Sassy on the horn.
Your effort will be worth the cold.
Okay, we got to get to the last stanza because we have to wrap up tonight.
Let's just go 6 hours tonight. You want to?
Okay, didn't Toby go to the Library of Congress on the live stream? Yes, Marty Bird. I remember that. And I remember he confirmed that there was nothing there. That was the big aha moment that I started looking into. And I think he did talk about the one audio, and I went and listened to it. It was long as gosh, I just don't remember all the details to it, but I have a stack of notes somewhere around here. Yeah.
So the other thing is, so hear me all and listen good. It's important. This line that he's about to say is very important. Your effort will be worth the cold. So if we take that back to begin at where warm waters halt, maybe we twist it. Really what we're looking for is where warm waters are cold, because that's where warm waters halt. So what we're really looking for is where warm waters halt, we're looking for the cold waters. What are the coldest waters in our 4 search states? You know what I'm saying? So we it's a minor
why is
difference.
there no mold?
But
he says there's no mildew or no mold. Is that most of that could actually be the pH levels, specialized knowledge, but up in the northern states and some of the springs and geysers where you will not get mold or mildew based on the acidity levels. And I went down that rabbit hole for a while. So yeah, but going back, do you know what meall means? If you put it in one word, MEALL, I believe.
Is that a Pokemon or something?
No, it is a small mound of dirt.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. So hear me all and listen good. Right, WWH is where cold waters. That's what I'm saying. So instead of begin at where warm waters halt, look at it as begin at where the cold waters are. Where are the cold waters? I'm just trying to think.
You're toe in it. No, you're tipping your toe in it. It's
right, but and then he's also said there's 100 places where warm waters halt north of Santa Fe. Look at the big picture. So in the big picture, where are the coldest waters?
Not where warm waters halt.
It is where warm waters halt. That's why they're cold. Warm waters.
No, because I don't even think he's tipping his toe. I think it's somewhere he has swam. I think he can get in it and he enjoys it. That's in my opinion.
Your effort will be worth. It just seems weird that he says your effort will be worth the cold. Like that line is very, very important to figure this whole thing out.
All could mean completely, not necessarily everyone. Completely. So completely cold rather than everyone, rather than all people. Okay, I like that. God, Sean thinks differently too, that I don't see some of these sides of things. I really like that perspective.
Well, Sean is punctuation Lazars. Go ahead and have the t-shirt made, Sean. I want to see it on the next one.
Yeah. Okay, get you the final stanza, my friend.
Well, we were just talking about it. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you were brave and in the wood, I give you title.
Okay, so do we agree that the title is the legal document part?
Yeah, I believe there is a title of some kind in the treasure chest. He said there's something in there he's never talked about, but the finder will like it very much. So we think that that is something that transfers ownership or somehow, some way takes care of legal issues, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Will be worth
I think
Is
again,
that it? Are we wrapping it
we've
up?
gone. It's funny because we've gone an hour and it flew by, and we still had the clues. Now we have a bunch of additional pieces. Like we know that cold, wood. There's some additional pieces there. So I think it's interesting how much we agree, and then it's interesting because last show. Oh,
We got a super chat, everybody, from Missouri Dave. Okay. Go ahead and read it, K-Pro.
Sorry, Mike. All 4K Pro made an over/under bet on viewers. What? Okay.
Oh wait, on viewers, who had the over, the under? He made a bet with you. Is that right?
Yes.
And who won? You or him? Well, apparently you won since he's paying. Is that right?
Wait, let me read the whole thing. Okay. Made an over/under bet on viewers during what ended up being a big nothing burger of a show.
Hey, if you want to look at it that way.
Paying off big, lucky 21 biggest from AKA
somewhat amused.
Okay, I was going to say I don't remember Missouri. Okay, so that's fabulous, and that's.
So you said it was going to be over a certain number, and we're at 141. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think he said, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said that. I think it was the sassy one, there was going to be over, I want to say 350. And I knew that there wouldn't be anywhere near that. There's just a contingent of a bunch of us that go to all of the different ones. So I would say, I think it was 350 or 300, but it got to, I think it was pretty high. I think it was the highest it's ever been. Oh, 325. Oh, good on you. So
he's not talking about views for this vlog. He's talking about something else.
No, he was talking about ATK Media did a show with Sassy. You were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we did a little bet. I'm taking that $21, and hey, I'll put it on 21 on roulette if I happen to make it to Vegas.
So, flip side, I have an interesting comment. And you're going to make it to Vegas, I think. K-Pro, the reader-writer relationship. Forrest is talking to an individual reading the poem, not everyone. That's an interesting thought. Forrest wrote this poem just for the one person that can figure it out. So when he says, hear me all, does he mean listen to the entire poem and listen good?
No, maybe he's saying, hey, everybody listen to me because I'm talking to one person and the only one person. Maybe that's what he's saying.
I don't know. It's possible, though. It's an interesting thought that you read it from just the one person who can figure out what the clues mean. So it's
that kind of reminds me of Michael Hall when he's like, hi, Forrest. And he's like,
you're right. He addresses Forrest in his videos.
Right. So maybe it's something like that. That's, another one. Okay. I like that as well. I'll be dreaming about some of the comments tonight of thinking, where does that take me differently than before? I like it.
808 Hard Worker says a gift is not taxable, but the title to the gold might be legal ownership. It might not have to do with taxes. You know, you don't want to find it, and then somebody, the government or somebody says, hey, that's rightfully ours. Maybe Forrest took care of the ownership issues. Once the word gets out where you found it, if you let it get out, there's always going to be somebody that tries to lay claim.
And I can tell you, there's a lawyer for everything. And no matter what legal document you think you have, including Forrest Fenn, there's an exception to every, and when you talk about the government, they can seize and ask questions later. So I'm bitter Betty when it comes to this one. So you can have the best of intentions and think you have everything worked out, but those lawyers get involved. No offense, because I like Joe Lewicki, but most other lawyers, not a fan. Not a fan. They just make problems.
JBR Princess has an interesting thought. I think the 9 clues you are able to see from the spot of the treasure. The other clues you can see, but they are too far to walk, but they can be seen. So she thinks they're all visible from the spot of the treasure chest. That's interesting.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say, the government, 808 Hard Worker says the government will never know if I find it. After Sassy's story, I lean that way. I will still notify. I actually like AGK's. They said they take the picture of with the paper and the treasure chest and send it to the media. I would do it Lewicki is a divorce lawyer.
Is that true? Can we get confirmation on that?
I needed him a little while ago. That's funny. So I don't know. So
you know what you don't know.
I don't know. Right. I just say I don't know. The smartest person I ever met is an attorney. That's the hard part, Dave Calvi, is no matter what you intend, Lawyers can change. That's their entire job. And good lawyers
Right.
change intent, they put their best position forward. And I've just had some legal stuff happen where I'll get over it over time, but not today. It was too expensive of a situation. And again, if Sassy has had that situation happen, can you only, this is when it didn't seem like David Blaine was involved at all, didn't talk. Think about all the situation that we had between the forums and the blogs and people. They were search partners, they're no longer search partners. You stole my, you're talking too much to Forrest, or you had secret private hints and audio and all of that. I mean, I think if that hunt where no one really blamed David Blaine exactly for anything skullduggery wise, we have this one where there's been lots of discussion already. I can only imagine what we're going to have.
Well, the David Blaine thing, it was on private property. It was on Rick Rubin's property, and I believe she said he didn't know it was there. So what kind of legal issues are that? You had to go on the private property to find it. That's crazy.
That's what I was hoping on the Sassy show, that they would have talked about is what were the lawsuits specifically? What was the position? And did they win or did they not win? I know Random House took care of it. I don't think Forrest will take care of it. I think it's going to be up to the finder in this situation. Maybe not, but I don't know. Right. Holly, we have not, I'm sorry, I've been totally out. Let's transition to talking about some other things.
Save this for next
She just asked about who won the contest. We have like over 50 submissions. Right. I have been out of commission except for I actually headed down to Starbucks a couple times just to get some internet connection. I've been going off my phone. I had like 10 new users for Thor. I just got to them because I just got internet connection, and Mike and I said, let's go live. So I'm in a new place and I'll be in a new room once I actually get internet into that room. So I'm sorry, we're going to be a little bit delayed. It won't be as bad as the last time. That was a couple months delayed. It'll just be a couple days delayed, and we'll narrow it down to 4 or 5 and then get it up on Thor and have everybody weigh in on.
So me and you just got an email. I don't know if you're checking your emails, but we just got an email from somebody that said, please unblock me. Thank you. Do you remember what we talked about?
Yes.
Do we want to announce that or no?
For YouTube, yes.
Yeah. So we are, anybody that's been blocked in the past, we believe in a new beginning, a fresh start. We're going to unblock everybody as far as YouTube. So anybody that was been blocked, and I'll just say this, don't make negative comments and you won't get blocked. So after the show is done, I will unblock everyone that's ever been blocked to the Cowlazars YouTube channel. And everybody's welcome to comment. It's just, if you have a valid comment, that's fine. But what do I always say? Don't call names and try to keep, don't make negative comments. You can get your point across without making negative comments. So yeah, to that person that sent us that email, I'm not going to do it right now because I got to find out the menu. But after this one is over, yes, we're going to unblock everybody.
Well,
and there's not that many. It's not like there's hundreds. There's maybe 3 or 4. So just so everybody knows.
But the cool part is, Mike and I both talked about, should it be individual people or whatever. Let's just start. I've gotten a couple emails from some people that there's been some issues with in the past, and we'll leave it at that. And they've just said, can we start over? And I thought, from the moment they said that, nothing more needs to be said. No explanations need to be. Let's just do it. And Copper Dan, you are, you're going to have, but I will say it needs to be, I mean, let's just start positive. We can still totally disagree on the poem, on the chase, poem purist versus the
punctuation,
all of that. Let's just fresh start and let's have like the best search season ever. Fenbury's going to rock, and Function in the Junction's going to rock. And so Mike and I both said, how do we do this easiest? Everybody. And then, Copper Dan's going to have to make some hard calls. Yeah, because quite honestly, it becomes very easy very quickly to see when there's issues, and there doesn't need to be, and it'll be super fun. And let's get back to fun. So so that's our first. I didn't even have it on the list. I do.
Right, I know, but it's funny. We just got an email saying, "Hey, can you unblock me,
I
please?"
did see
Apparently
it popped
they wanted
up
to comment. Yeah. So yes, I will. I'll unblock everybody. So.
Yeah. Okay. So
even the 8 people that gave us a thumbs down for this video, not that they're blocked. I'm just saying, you can give a thumbs down. That's okay.
Like Toby says, we get credit this both ways. Thumbs up or thumbs down, but we like thumbs up because I actually will completely disagree with some people. They'll drive me crazy, but it's such a thumbs up because I'm later thinking that night, gosh, I know there's 4 or 5 comments from tonight. I never thought about it like that. Oh my goodness.
What? About what?
Well, like what Sean said about the individuals talking individually. I'm going to, like, my first thought was, no, I haven't
You're
thought
right.
about that. And a couple of people made some. I think Chris Yates made there was 4 or 5 people that made some comments. I go back through and read all the once it uploads, and I go back through and read all the comments. And I do have to say, I miss a lot.
Yeah.
When we're
Nice,
here,
Marty
we
Bird.
miss a
Real
lot.
nice.
What did Marty Bird say?
All unblocked people will be subject to a FOIA. And Sledneck just said, I guess people don't know how to make another YouTube account. Let me just say this, and this is my own personal opinion. If you need to make a multiple YouTube accounts, if you need to make multiple screen names on forums, you have an issue. There's no reason anybody should need to make multiple anything. That's all I'll
Yeah,
say about that.
what if we block the lead searcher and they wanted to comment? Okay, so everybody will be unblocked. Let's move on to other things. We don't want to dip our toe too far into that one.
All right.
Okay, so I have heard there is a commemorative chest, not a replica, a commemorative
That's
chest.
right. Let's
Do you
bring it
want to
up.
show?
And I hear it's on
Yeah.
eBay. So first off, if you go to Cowlazars.com, there's a link to that to the website.
Nice.
So you can get it that way. But there is a treasure chest on eBay right now. Let me bring it up and see what it's up to. And everybody in the world wanted to know how much these things cost. Well, eBay is going to kind of tell us, right?
$1 million.
So this is the eBay auction. Forrest Fenn Commemorative Treasure Chest number 72 out of 100, limited edition. 11 bids, $2,850.
Nice.
You guys can go to eBay yourself. It is not an exact replica. And somebody had a question in the chat earlier. Why does it weigh 42 pounds when Forrest Fenn's treasure weighs 42 pounds with all the gold in it?
You have the secrets. You have the secrets. Go,
well,
Mike, go.
I think the reason it weighs 42 pounds is that so people can pick it up and say, this is what the real treasure chest is going to weigh when I find it with the gold in it.
No, but here's the question.
Yeah.
If, and this is a big F, and I'm so glad that Chris, I think, was in the room. Hopefully he still is. If the dimensions are relatively the same, maybe they're a half an inch off here or an inch off there.
Oh, the question is why physically does it weigh more?
Why is it physically 42 pounds? Now, I talked to a searcher that has a little bit of information. I think shipping's about $150, Sean. But it was, if it is a half an inch in Forrest chest, it could be an inch, which is only that little bit of difference, and it would make it, rather than 22 pounds, it's going to make it 44 pounds. But I do have to say, look at the corners in the comparison, is what he's saying. So go.
Yeah, I'm looking right there. Look in the corners in the comparison. The corners of the chest, I see the wood looks maybe thicker. Yeah, well, Chris can answer. Why, in other words, physically, why does it weigh 42 pounds? The way it is. Why does this chest weigh 42 pounds? Because it's thicker? Because the walls are thicker? Or because the images on the walls are more pronounced?
Or the corners?
Yeah, people are just wondering why.
Or
how does it weigh? When it's the same size, how does it weigh so much? Why is it so much heavier?
Is there different levels of bronze, and some bronze is heavy? I have no idea.
He just answered. So 1/8 of bronze on all corners adds 5 pounds.
Ah.
So he has a lot more bronze in his treasure chest than the actual
on the corners. On the corners.
On the corners. So in other words, these blocks, and if I can get it to stay up, these blocks right here.
Is the keyword corners? Did you get that from Forrest? Yeah. Is that now what we
should
be?
The Four Corners area of Arizona? Oh.
Isn't that Colorado?
Yeah. That's a zoomed in picture. That is pretty cool. That is a nice looking chest.
That's awesome.
The frog is on the clasp. I'm assuming that's a frog. Kind of looks like a ram though, doesn't it? Even on the original one, is that supposed to be a frog on the clasp of the treasure chest? I don't know. But it looks pretty cool. So Chris, I hope you do well with it. We'll see how high this goes. This ends next Monday at 5:30 p.m. So right before we go live. Actually, maybe we'll go live a little earlier to catch the end of this one. We'll see if we can make that work.
Chris didn't think it was funny about Forrest gave him secret hints. And if you look at the bottom of the poem, it's a little bit different. You should add, and maybe the first stanza and the last 2 stanzas are completely deleted. I don't know.
And is there a misspelled word? Yeah. And is there punctuation? All that. Yeah. So good luck with it, Chris. We hope you sell all 100.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What about number 3?
Coin number 3 is currently at 32 bids.
Charles Chapman, hold on a minute.
What did he say?
He said it's hard for most gals to pick up.
The 42
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Okay. Keep going.
Coin number 3 has got 1 day and 12 hours left. in the auction. It's got 32 bids, and we're at $807. Something tells me this will go over $1,000. This is, are we saying who put this up and why and all that, or no?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
don't the why.
Well,
But
I mean, well, why? Because they need money, right? I mean, that's why else you put something on eBay, because you're trying to get some money together. But Jamie Jordan put this coin up on eBay, so we don't know why. You know what I mean? We don't know why she specifically needs the money, but everybody needs money. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm fine with
coin
that. I
number
just didn't
3.
know why. I was like,
Yeah,
we're
no,
live.
not
We're
specifically.
live. Okay. Yeah.
And there it is, coin number 3. Not the best picture in the world, but that's okay. We know it's coin number 3.
We know what it is.
Yeah,
And
because
it's
I know it's coin number 3.
3.
And then we have something else on eBay. Copper Dan, you're in the room, right?
Copper Dan.
And there it is, the Forrest Fenn Fenbury 3 map, number 1 out of 250. Wow, we're at $1,136. This auction still has 5 days and 23 hours to go. This one's going to end at 7 p.m. on Monday. So again, we'll be live to watch the end of the auction. And Dan took that Fenbury map and he put this frame around it. And Dan, I'm going to look up your email right now because you did give me some info, didn't you?
Does he want his email shared with everyone?
No, I'm just going to read it, what he said.
Oh, I see the things you...
Yeah, I know. The people can't.
That's why it just makes me nervous when you say that. You always do it right. Okay.
So this
and
is
Chris Jones says
3.
the floor is a quarter, I'm assuming a quarter inch strong.
So. Yeah, right. His chest is a lot thicker and a lot sturdier, I would say, probably, than Forrest Fenn's. Okay, so this is number 1 out of 250. You guys can see that. It is signed by Forrest. It has a very nice... Okay, the map is 39 inches wide and 42 inches tall. Remember, 039 in the stamps and the thrill of the chase, and the chest weighs 42 pounds. So there's kind of a esoteric something going on with these numbers here, according to Dan. So he made it 39 wide, 42 tall. Or that's the map, I believe. The map is from Fenbury 3. You guys can see that right there. He was told that Forrest himself was involved in its making. I don't know that. I kind of wasn't involved back then. The frame is solid walnut, Homa Brown, and a mission style of design. So mission style is the corners, right? Yeah. He inlaid copper in it. The frame is built and designed by Copper Dan. The angles flares on the frame are 22 degrees. Forrest references 22 a lot. Now that's interesting. And it has 3 coins inlaid. The gold medallion from hunt number 4. From Jenny's hunt number 4. Copper searcher coin 828. And a non-numbered silver coin. So there it is, everybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I would assume it is like Copper Dan art, where it looks really nice here, and then when you get it, it's beyond stunning. I mean, if you don't have Copper Dan art, it's just so over the top beautiful once you actually see it. So that's probably the hardest part about his job, is you can't really do justice in even a video. It just is amazing. There is a comment about how are people selling stuff on eBay without Forrest permission, especially if it's copyrighted. I will tell you, this is one of probably 6 or 7 that I've been made aware of. And they do take it serious once they know it, and they watch. They mean Shiloh and Forrest.
Wait, they don't mean the map or the chest. What do you?
No, they're talking about another. There's another eBay auction, and several people have emailed me about it. And Shiloh and Forrest are aware. And just know, if you do buy something that is illegal, I think it'll be pulled down quickly. In my opinion, I don't know. So I don't think people fully recognize all of the legal implications when you do these things. That's why Mike and I always take the most conservative route of, we ask Forrest even if we don't legally have to. We believe we don't legally have to ask Forrest, we do anyway. So just be careful if you do decide to buy something from a random person that has copyrighted information on it, because it could be seized after the fact. So anyway. So no, we're not.
Copper Dan's a show it. I'm not sure what you're referring to, so I'm not going to show it.
Oh, good.
Because I don't know what it is. So that's good.
Don't even look at Copper Dan's comments from here on.
But if anybody was wondering, like, well, you bought the Fenbury map. Well, once you buy something, anybody can put it on eBay and sell it. Yeah. So that part is not copyrighted. I mean, if I buy a book from Borders, I can turn around and sell it on eBay. So okay.
Yeah. What is considered copyrighted? I won't even get into. Let's have Joel Lewicki on, and he can answer that. I've taken a whole class on that. But
so Joel, if Forrest Fenn got a divorce, No, sorry. What's copyrighted and what does he own and what does he not own? Look at it as a
believe
divorce
me,
lawyer.
there are interpretations that lawyers can take. Okay, let's move on to the escape. You're doing something this weekend. What are you doing?
Your moderator needs moderating. Nice one, William. Okay,
Yes.
this weekend is the Las Vegas Searcher meetup, and we're going to do an escape room. We're going to do it this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. I went over to the escape room and I put the deposit down for us. So the escape room starts at 1:30 this Saturday. So get there about 1:15. Just go inside Boulevard Mall right there on Maryland Parkway. Ask them where the escape room is, and you'll see me and some other people will be there, I guess. We're all going to go through the escape room. So, yeah, it'll be fun. And afterward, if you're like, well, I want to meet up, but I'm not interested in the escape room, then show up at 2:30 when we're done. The escape rooms take about an hour, and we'll go somewhere in the mall. They have a restaurant. They have a bar where you could watch, hockey and stuff. So we will meet up, and we'll all just talk about Forrest Fenn.
Yeah, because people are like, Cowlazars, what are you talking about? Escape room. We also have to get like our Forrest Fenn fix, and that's the most fun thing ever is sitting around with a bunch of crazy people like you and like me and like other people and having fun talking about our passion, our hobby.
And the escape room, I went over there and got the list of the escape rooms they have, and the one I chose is this. Your rich uncle has left clues behind to his fortune. So I thought that fit in with the Forrest Fenn thing pretty cool. So you're in a room, it's almost like your uncle's study, and you've got to figure out the clues on how to find his fortune. So I thought that was apropos. So that is the escape room we're doing. I hope everybody can make it. And we'll see you guys there. We'll see you there at 1:30 on Saturday.
I hope everybody can make it. I think searchers should come from all around the country and have a blast. And I heard, I don't know if this is true, Mike. It's the World Series of Poker. There's some big tournaments this week. Is that true?
There are big tournaments every week in Vegas, but not the World Series of Poker. World Series of Poker isn't starting yet, but there are other casinos that are having their version of the World Series of Poker. So, yes, there's always poker going on.
This is good to know.
World Series of Poker is in June, the entire month in June. But something else that's going on in June is
Function in the Junction. So people have already, you always mix it up. So, and it is, featuring Cowlazars' first boots on the ground for Forrest Fenn. And his last hunt, I mean, he slam dunked it. He won. So
Red Rock,
Red Rock.
What if I went out and actually found Forrest Fenn's treasure chest on the very first boots on the ground?
Tell no one, and
I'd be lynched.
We just disappear.
Right.
So so it's all in work right now. Mike and I are going to be talking a lot this weekend about all of this. But basically, what we're thinking is there's going to be a Friday night something. Which may be a poker tournament. We have found out that we can have a poker tournament in that state and not have a problem. So we're looking into some things there.
We're not saying we are. We're saying we
We're not saying we are, but this is kind of an idea. So it'll be Friday, something kind of informal. And then, of course, drinks afterwards, because that's what we do. Drinks during and drinks afterwards.
Right.
And then on Saturday, we're thinking of doing like a fishing expedition. And then we will on like in the mid-afternoon, maybe do an informal meetup, and then do some sort of dinner. And then of course drinks afterwards as well. There is some announcements that will come out eventually. We're always going to have surprises.
Well, first off, Jonah says, what city and state is the escape room in? So I don't know. Maybe you're new. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada at the Boulevard Mall is this Saturday at 1:30. So let's make sure that's clear. That's not in New Mexico or Junction or Yellowstone. That's in Las Vegas, Nevada. So show up if you can. So can we say an idea that we had for the? Oh, we can't even talk about it yet. Oh,
I don't think so. I don't want anyone's heads exploding. Right. We got something.
No, it's not. Okay, all right. We'll wait till it's definite. We will wait, and then we'll pass it on to everybody when we know for sure. But I think it's pretty fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope everybody.
AGK Media. Toby's in the house.
Toby, how are you?
I mean, hello to everybody, but Toby. Okay, so I guess spill it, Copper Dan. I'm sorry. Hey, Copper Dan. Some of us can keep secrets.
Oh, in your face! Wipe that disc mark off your forehead.
Okay. So what else do we have? We have the escape room function contest, the commemorative box, the C3, and there's something. Oh, function. I was like, what does that even say? Hey, Mike, are we going live on Thursday?
Oh, we are not. There will not be a show Thursday, But Cowlazars, what about the clues for your 2019 Forrest Fenn coin hunt? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video. We're not going to show clue number 5 because I've already put clue number 5 in the video that I put out on Sunday. So you guys, if you're on the mailing list, you got emailed that video. And for everybody else that just follows the channel, if you're wondering where clue 5 is, just look at the video that was uploaded before this one. And what I'll do is I'll set up a video that has, we're up to what? Clue number 6. On Thursday will be clue number 6. So I will put a video that has all 6 clues that will premiere at Thursday at 6 p.m. our normal time. But we are not going to go live because we're going to be busy. So, and I will say this, and I put it in the email, is that this current treasure hunt has 8 clues total. 8. So that'll be 6. The 6th clue on Thursday. Next Monday will be 7. And next Thursday, a week from Thursday, will be number 8. In my personal opinion, I don't think you can find it until you have all 8 clues. People have been like, I want to go boots on the ground and look for it. And I'm thinking, you go do whatever you want. I've never told anybody what to do. But in my own personal opinion, I think you need to wait for the 8th clue. But hey, everybody make their own decision.
Oh, function in the junction shirts. Oh, that's on our list, Mike. We got to talk about it.
We'll see.
Because World Series of Fenn shirts, poof, they
disappeared
quick.
We'll see.
So we're gonna have something. I mean, there has to be something.
Yeah, there'll be something.
World
How
Series
about a
of
hat?
Fenn
What about a hat? Maybe a ball cap.
I like you can wear them as a bean. It's like
a bandana.
No, but it's not a bandana. It's like the things they wear on Survivor. And when you're out in like boots on the ground, you want stuff over your ear, over your mouth sometimes. Yeah. So what do they call those? Do-rags? Is that what they're called?
Over your mouth and nose like that? That's a bandana.
Well, you can wear them as
it's a bandana.
No, it doesn't tie. It's no.
All right. Well, we'll come up with something.
We'll come up with something. A buff. Yes, a buff. You see, everybody
a buff.
Else.
I've never heard of that before in my life. A buff?
You're such a flatlander.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll see. Yeah, we don't know. This weekend, actually, we're going to hash a lot of these details out. So
a commemorative margarita cup. Hey. Ooh, maybe we could take some of the the designs from Chris Jones's commemorative chest and put them on a cup.
Oh yeah, he'd love that. I'm sure. Yeah. Right.
With all, half the proceeds going to Chris or something. I don't know. That could be fun. So there's lots to think about.
Need a function in the junction on the other side of the Rockies. Well, where would that be? He means on the west side, West Coast? I don't know what he means.
Okay.
What?
So there's several people, and I promise you, I will try to get something together. There's a bunch of searchers on the East Coast. Mike, you should make it out here to the East Coast one day, because there's a
meetup. Oh, okay.
Yeah, to do a meetup, and North Carolina might be right between some of the locations. There's some Florida searchers. There's some people, but there's some informal things that I meet up with searchers out here, and actually some reporters are out here and things. But yes, we do need to do something East Coast style. Maybe Philly, maybe in Washington, D.C., maybe in North Carolina, South Carolina. So anyway.
And AGK Media says they're going to plan their northern trip around the time of the function in the junction. So AGK might be there. And I'm assuming they'll stream it. So that should be interesting.
Oh, you know what? They could stream it with whoever brings the treasure chest.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Has anyone ever found where to buy a Forrest Fenn hat? There is no Forrest Fenn hat, is there? Is that what you mean by FF hat? There's no official. I don't think there's any hats. So. That's why I said maybe hats for function.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's ever made hats.
Would it be like
a Cowlazars hat?
Cowboy hat? Yeah, I was gonna say I have
a cowboy hat. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, or
maybe a fishing hat. One of those big oversized things. You know what I mean? They keep the sun.
With all the
you could wear
lures.
boots on the ground. It has to be a boots
on it.
Yeah, it has to be a boots on the ground hat. Not a sun hat, but one of those hats that protects you from the sun. That would be the hat if we're gonna make one. That would kind of be cool.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll wear it on my boots on the ground.
You know what? Throw out as many ideas as you have, because something sticks, and we're gonna do something. So, how about a function in the junction coin? I don't know.
I don't know about.
Well, we did the little chips for World Series of Fenn, and those were a hit. So we'll see.
If only we knew somebody that could make coins to make that happen.
I wonder, is there anyone out? No, that's all done in China.
Yeah, right. We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen? But if you guys do have ideas, email K-Pro. She doesn't get enough emails, so she'll respond to all of them too.
And I'm sorry, there's some people that were like, "Did you get my email?" And you're sending multiple emails. I was down and out on especially emails.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Things.
Yeah.
So, well, my email or my entire internet. When I was like, "Wait," they said it'll be a week before we come out, and I said, "Then I'm switching services." And so they put an emergency in, and I'm back up. So I'm good. So barf bags, commemorative barf bags for the
Function in the
margarita.
junction toothbrush holder. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
so many
Oh,
ideas.
and there's my email for
Oh, that's
everyone. Thank you.
nice.
You
Thanks,
guys are essential.
Dan. Thanks
You
so much.
two, you two need to be separated and not talk anymore between the two of you. You guys are
If
run
anybody
for my
doesn't
money.
know your email address by now, that's like not knowing the poem. So everybody's got your email address from hintofriches.com.
Yeah, that's totally it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. What do we have anything else?
I think that's going to do it for this vlog number 147. So make sure you subscribe, guys. We did hit 2,400 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I think K-Pro had a big piece to do with that. Because for 6 months, I think I went up by 10 subscribers. And then K-Pro came on the show, and then we shot up.
That's it. Well, no, but you get more thumbs down than you've ever gotten in your entire
you take the good with the bad.
Years.
That's how it goes. The facts of life. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, so thumbs up the video, share it. We're not going to have a show Thursday, but we will definitely be on next Monday, the 22nd.
Definitely.
Right? Well, yeah,
definitely.
I hope. I don't see why we wouldn't be. But yeah, we'll be on Monday the 22nd, and we'll...
Day 2 poker.
That's not day 2. No, that's not. I don't think that's correct. We'll talk about that.
Right, but that's Sunday, and then okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll be live Monday. Trust me, and we'll talk all about the Las Vegas Searcher meetup, and maybe we'll have some details on the function in the junction. So
yes, we're gonna keep it all Chase related. My God, the room's gone crazy. Okay, you guys have been a blast, so we're getting
all right. Okay, everybody. We hope you had fun looking at the poem. Maybe we made you think of it in a different way. And that's the point. We're just trying to generate some ideas.
Yeah, some different thoughts. You guys, gosh, everybody's mind works different. I love it.
I think we need to do a panel again at some point in the next month or two.
Yes, I think the ladies.
Ladies only panel. That's true.
I like it.
All
I like it. I like it.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you.
Thank you.